In this task, Circle Mover, we're going to have a look at drawing things onto the screen and having the user be able to interact with those. We created a new project. The details are in the task sheet. And now what we want to do is to open a window and get it sticking around. Here we have Visual Studio Code with our starter code. Remember to change this to be your name instead of mine. If we compile and run that, we can see the window, okay, it just disappeared. Why did that happen? Well, if we have a look here, it did exactly what we told it to do. Open the window, wait for 1 second, and then end. What we really want to do is have it sticking around here until I close it. But the way we need to do that is have the computer continually check. And so what we can do is add in a while loop. So we could say while not, and then SplashKit provides us with a function called quit requested. And that function tells us whether or not the user is asked to close the main program window. If they have, that will be returning true. But while it's not, then we want to keep looping. But once they do want to quit, we need to quit. So this, to do the while, we need to say, well, it's not quit. Now, in order for this to work, we need to call process events. Process events checks what the user has done. Let's see if that changes anything. So if we compile our program and we run it, notice it's staying around for more than 1 second. I can move the window around, etc. And now if I ask to close it, I'm requesting to quit. That changes that condition, and so the loop stops happening. Now, it's worth noting here that this is happening over and over and over again. So if I just put a right dot there, what we could do is go back and just confirm what I'm saying. So if we run that, notice it's looping over and over and over again. Continue asking, have you closed yet? Have you closed yet? Have you closed yet? No, no, no. Okay, so I'll keep running. And as soon as I close it, it goes, yep, cool, you want to finish? And it stops. Great, so we have a window and the window is staying around. We can remove that dot for the moment. Now let's get a circle on the screen and have that circle moving around. To start with, we're going to need to, each time through the loop, we want to clear the screen. And we can just clear it to color white. There we go. We want to refresh the screen. If you remember, that makes sure that what is drawn actually appears. So we clear the screen and refresh the screen. We can then, inside here, we'll do fill a circle. Now, which one do we want? We want this one. So we provide a color, the X, Y, and radius. So we can do the color. Let's do color green. X, why don't we do the center of the screen? So X halfway across would be 400. Halfway down would be 300. And a radius of, why don't we do 50? That'll do. If we save that, compile and run, and we have our circle, but it's not moving. I can still close the window, so that's good. All right, let's get it moving. Now to move the circle, we need to make its position variable. How do we do that? We create a variable to represent that. I'll just start with the X position and you can do the Y position yourself. So we could start here by saying X equals, now we could be a little bit smart about this, and we could do the screen width divided by 2. That way I don't need to remember that it's 800 pixels wide. It would just calculate that for me. So X will be the center of the screen. So now down here, instead of having 400, we could have X, whatever the value is in the X variable. Up here then, what we could do is I could say X is equal to X plus, let's say 3. So what's happening here? Let's have a look. The circle's moving. So each time around the loop, we move the circle to the right 3 pixels by adding 3 to its X location. So this variable is changing each time through the loop because we are adjusting the value here. And so it looks like it's moving. We clear the screen, otherwise you'd see a sort of a smear as the circle moved across, but the old circles weren't being removed. The only way you can remove things is to clear the screen. Then you redraw everything basically. Now that we have the circle moving, really what I want to do is to be able to move the circle using a keyboard input. So at the moment it's doing this every time through the loop. So the loop is repeating this over and over again, and every single time we add 3 to x. But wouldn't it be nice if we could only do that when the key was pressed? Instead of when, think if. So if, and then SplashKit has a key down function, and we can pass to that a key code. And there's different keys. So if we wanted to move right, there is a right key. There it is. So if the right key is held down, then we can add 3 to the x position. So if we run this or compile, remember, save, compile, run, the circle's not moving. If I hold down the right key, there we go, and again. Excellent, and each time I release the key, it stops moving. And we could do the same thing then with the left key. So if the left key is down, so this is the left arrow key, then what I would do is x is equal to x minus 3. There's a shortcut for that. You can do x minus equals 3. That's the same as x is equal to x minus 3. So x is equal to x minus 3. Compile, save, compile, run. Now if I hold down the left key, it goes left. If I hold down the right key, it goes right. If I hold down both keys, what's going to happen? As I lift one of them up, but not the other. Notice when I'm holding both of them down, it doesn't move, which is correct if we think about it. If the right key was held down, we added 3 to x. Then if the left key was held down, we subtracted 3. So if both of them are held down, we add 3 to it, then we subtract 3 from it. And when we draw it, it has the same value. It hasn't changed. Well, it changed twice, but changed back to the same value. All right. So we now have the circle moving when we hold down a key. If we want to keep it on the screen, we're going to need to do some extra checks. So what we could do down here is we could say if the x is larger than, now I want the width of the screen, so if we do the right hand side, so if x is larger, we're checking if it's gone past the edge of the screen. So if x is larger than the screen width, that would be the center of the circle. So I need to do the screen width. So either I could do x plus the radius of the circle. Why don't I define a constant for that? So the way we can do that, hash define radius 50. And that way I can change the radius quite easily. So down here I can say that's actually radius, and here I want x plus whatever radius is. So if x plus radius is larger than the screen width, we've gone off the screen to the right hand side. So we want to make x equal to the screen width minus the radius. We can do the same thing for the left hand side. So if x is less than, or if x, minus radius is less than 0, then x equals the radius. So this will sort of allow it to go past the edge of the screen, and then we drag it back, make sure it's actually on the screen before we draw it. So we compile and run. Now when I move to the left, if I get to the edge of the screen, we can see I haven't held up the key. It stops, and we'll do the same thing if we move to the right, as we can see there. To finish off the program, what I want to do is let's make the color also variable. So to do that, there is a color type in SplashKit. So So I could call it maybe circle color, and I could start that with color green. There we go. And so down here, instead of color green, I can use my circle, where is it? Circle color variable. Yep, that's what I called it. And we could add a condition back up here. So if the user typed, let's say we do the C key. So if they type the C key, push it down and release it, then what I want to do is, why don't we make the circle color equal to, and then there is a random color function in splash key. So we just change it to some random color. Compile, run. I can still move it, and as I press the C key, we can see that it changes color. Excellent. So that's all from me. What you need to do now is finish it off so that you can move it up and down as well as left and right. And we'll add in hitting the spacebar to change the background color. Good luck with that.